Thinking Aloud Paired Problem Solving. This screencast will describe a method that can help all students articulate their understanding. Thinking Aloud Paired Problem Solving is a technique developed by Lockheed and Wimby to help students improve their ability to solve problems through the use of verbal descriptions of their approach. These descriptions are enhanced through probing and clarifying questions. This approach can be used to not only solve problems by analyzing case studies, but also to interpret data. In pairs, students take turns fulfilling particular roles. One student would serve as the problem solver or explainer. He or she would describe the problem statement, making sure to highlight any issues and describe any assumptions made to solve the problem, and then would describe their approach in detail. Meanwhile, the other student listens and asks clarifying questions. After a while, the students switch roles to solve a new problem or solve the next part in a more complex problem that has multiple parts. Ronald Narode, an associate professor of math and science education at Portland University, has some advice for the problem solver and the listener. He says, the problem solver is responsible for articulating all ideas as they occur, whereas the listener has a somewhat more difficult task. The listener must suspend solving the problem him or herself so that complete concentration and attention is devoted towards understanding the problem solver's needs and solutions. From his experience, here are some do's and don'ts to keep in mind. We'll start with the do's. The listener should listen carefully, asking the speaker to repeat statements if needed, or to slow down. They should also encourage vocalization, and can do so by asking questions like, "What are you thinking?" or "Can you explain what you are writing?" The listener could also ask for clarification. For example, "What do you mean?" or "Can you say more about that?" And lastly, the listener should check for accuracy by asking the solution to be restated if it needs clarification. And now we'll cover the don'ts. The listener should make sure to not give hints, to not solve the problem him or herself, and to not tell the solver how to correct an error. For the instructor, the key strategies are for the instructor to walk around the room, especially when they're the listener, to discuss the interpretation, to describe the method, defend the solution, and to retrace the steps that were previously successful to solve the problem at hand. Now, I will end this presentation with a few final thoughts. Remember to promote a safe environment by reminding students that everyone is valued, that all contributions are important. It is also one that encourages respectful questioning and probing. Second, be sure to give clear instructions about the role of the problem solver and listener. In both cases, considering offering examples of how one would model effective problem-solving techniques and effective listening techniques before tasking the students with this activity. Finally, make sure you allow time for students to experience active listening and problem-solving skills, as experience with both roles is extremely important.